All right, you filed bankruptcy under Chapter 7. What happens to your car? Well, first of all, did you lease it or did you buy it with a bank loan? If you lease it, it's just a matter of deciding whether you want to assume the lease or reject it. If you reject it, you turn the car in back to the leasing company and you have no further responsibility on that lease. Of course, you still don't have the car. Or you assume the lease and you keep the car and continue to make your regular lease payments. Now, that comes with a catch. If you assume the lease, once the bankruptcy is over, you continue to be responsible for those lease payments. In addition, when you turn the car in, if there are any mileage overages, charges, things like that, you would be responsible for those as well. The bankruptcy would not wipe out that debt. You would continue to be responsible for it. So as you can see, the decision on whether to assume or reject a car lease can be very important. You might be better off rejecting the lease if you're towards the end of the lease, the odometer reading is looking a little high, and you might be facing some charges down the road that you really can't afford. Best to use the bankruptcy to get rid of that vehicle, get another one down the road that might be more affordable. Now, so let's say you're purchasing the car. You got a bank loan, you bought the car is yours. But you still owe the bank, and they still have a lien on the car. Well, you have one of three choices under the bankruptcy code. You can either surrender the vehicle, turn it in, as we said with the lease, where you reject the lease, turn the car in, and that's the end of it. The Chapter 7 bankruptcy would wipe out any further responsibility for you to pay, but of course you don't have the car anymore. The second is to pay off the loan, or what's called redemption. For most people, unless you're towards the end of the loan, and it makes more sense just to pay it off than to continue to make 3 or 4 more payments, say, redemption really isn't an option for most people. The third is to what's called reaffirm the loan and continue to make payments to the end of the loan. Now, like assuming a lease, that comes with a downside. Again, the Chapter 7 bankruptcy under a reaffirmation would not wipe out your personal responsibility to pay that debt. So let's say you have 3 more years left on your car loan and you reaffirm the loan in your bankruptcy, and a year down the road you lose your job, or for some other circumstance you can no longer afford to pay the car loan. The car gets repossessed, and the bank would have the ability to come after you for any deficiency on the note after the repossession sale of the car. So as you can see, that's a very serious decision, and one that the bankruptcy courts take seriously. You sign what's called a reaffirmation agreement, in which you agree to continue to be responsible for that loan. You have to be sure under your budget that you can afford to make those payments, because it's a very important decision and can have serious consequences down the road. If you are filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, talk to your attorney about it. Talk about what your options are and which option is best for you. But unfortunately, under the changes to the bankruptcy law that occurred back in 2005, these are really your only 3 options. So talk to your attorney and see which option is best for you.